Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Praetorians. Now this, unfortunately, was released the same day as WWE Battlegrounds, so I initially put most of my time into Battlegrounds so that I could get a review out for you guys, and this one had to take a little bit of a backseat. However, I've managed to put some time into this game now. And what do we get with Praetorians, the HD Remaster as it is titled? Well, it is exactly that. It's a HD remaster of an old PC game that has now been ported to console for the first time. What is Praetorians? Well, essentially it is a real-time strategy game. Something I think that the PlayStation 4 sorely misses. In my opinion, I don't think there's been generation defining real-time strategy game on PlayStation 4. Sudden Strike's probably the best I've played. I haven't reviewed that one yet. I just have never had a chance to review that one, but I would say that's probably the best one. However, what we get here is obviously a Roman themed real-time strategy game, and you essentially get here some fairly limited options with this game. I will say straight off the bat, there is a multiplayer mode here if you want to play this game in multiplayer. If you know me and follow my reviews, I'm not really a fan of multiplayer. I did try it out, but unfortunately I couldn't get onto a multiplayer game. You might have more luck, especially if you've got people on your friends list and things like that you want to play the game with. But no, just know that that option is there if you really want to take it up on it. And if you don't, what other options do you get? Well, you have a campaign mode, which essentially, politely, is just an extended tutorial, I would suggest. Teaches you how to play the game, the campaign mode, for the most part. So it's certainly worth doing to learn how to play the game, but the real meat of this game, I think, is in the Skirmish Mode. And the Skirmish Mode is where you will kind of go in there, choose what map you want to be at, choose the options of the map, choose your enemies, and then you know, conquer the whole map by growing your army. And you can have up to 500 soldiers at any one time in your army. The Skirmish Mode, I think, is where I've had the most enjoyment in this game, I would say, certainly. Now, from my perspective playing this game, I've got to say I think it's dated pretty badly. I never played the original on PC. I've never played Praetorians. I don't think the game looks bad. It's kind of what you would expect from a game like this, a real-time strategy game. It's pretty well detailed. You can zoom in a little bit and see the characters, especially when they're battling, things like that. That's okay. There is a build element, obviously, to this game. You can build your barracks and your defense towers and your catapults and all this kind of stuff, and build up your base's defences, and then you can grow your army, and there's a whole range of units that you can have. You've got your legionnaires, you've got your archers, you've got your normal rank and file soldiers, you've got your gladiators, scouts, all this kind of stuff. The kind of things you would expect in a real-time strategy game, certainly themed around the Roman Empire. That's all pretty good. Now, what I mean in regards to it being dated, it's very slow to respond, and the controls are very, very fiddly. It's obviously, we know it's a port from PC, this game. I just don't, it does not feel like it belongs on a console. I don't think they've done a particularly good job of innovating in regards to the controls. It's fiddly. Once you've done the tutorial, that's it. You're not given any real reminders after that of what buttons do what, and how you join this army to this army, and how you promote this unit, and how you do this and how you do that. You've got to all mainly do it from memory, and you can't remember because the controls are too fiddly. It's not intuitive, and I don't think they've put an awful or enough thought into the controls here on the console. And essentially, this game is just battling, really. I mean, you grow your base, like I say, as I've described earlier, with your defences and things like that. Then you grow your army, and then you travel around the map, taking out the enemies, take over their bases, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And it's enjoyable for what it is, but it does get quite repetitive, I think. I don't think the units are different enough to make the combat more interesting. I certainly didn't find, in regards to the units. What you do sometimes end up doing is just clumping them all together and sending them all in, and the archers will stay at the back and firing the arrows, the spearmen will stay at the back and throw the spears, and then everyone else will dive in and start chopping them up. But I personally found it that it did get a little bit repetitive, and it just feels a dated game. It's not badly priced. It's $15.99 in the UK, or you can get a double pack. You can get this and Commandos 2 HD Remaster for, I think it's £33, something like that. So that's okay. I'm not going to bother with Commandos 2. I did play that years ago, and found that a very frustrating game. And there's other things in here as well that make it feel quite dated. The music, very dated. The music, it doesn't seem to fit. And the voice acting, I mean, it's not littered with voice acting, but you know, when they're shouting the commands, and when it brings you up to date with bits of story here and there, some of the voice acting is pretty bad. Very, very dated voice acting, I would suggest. So what you get here for this package is a reminder of an old school RTS. When you compare it to a modern version of these type of games, it really doesn't stand up, in my opinion. It's too limited, it's too basic, the controls are too fiddly, and the gameplay itself is a little bit too samey. But fans of classic RTSs, I think, and if you've certainly played this game before and you're itching to play it again, then you're going to be very, very happy. From my perspective, it's not an RTS that I will continue to put many, many hours into, that's for sure. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So I do hope you found this review useful, and thank you very much for watching.